Good morning, everybody. This is Raffy Gutierrez. Welcome to another episode of Crossroads on Faith. And I just want to thank everybody who has subscribed to our channel, liked our videos, and shared them to your friends and family. We really appreciate all the views and the time you've spent to listen and to also post your comments in the comment section below. So, without further ado, I want to share my thoughts on another quite possibly controversial topic this morning, and my topic is, if God is everywhere, then how can the devil be anywhere? Again, the title of my topic this morning is, if God is everywhere, how can the devil be anywhere? So I want you guys to think for a moment something that perhaps might be a little bit more relatable. Like, you see behind me, there is very, very nice sunlight that is outside the garden. And if somebody said, or if I said that that sunlight is that you're seeing is everywhere, right? That sunlight is can be seen everywhere, right? Obviously, the word everywhere means every place, every nook and corner where that can be reached by the sun. You'll see sunlight. So if the whole universe is comprised of atoms, then atoms are everywhere. What does I'm just trying to find a way to best encapsulate what the word everywhere means, and what it means to be present everywhere, right? The Christians claim about the nature of God are three qualities: omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence. So my talk this morning will focus primarily on the third one, about God being omnipresent, which means basically that God is everywhere. But I might digress a little bit, trying to fortify my argument of why I don't believe that God is omnipresent, by also suggesting some things against his being omniscient and omnipotent. Okay, so if I digress somehow, please forgive me. That's not my intention. It's my hope that in the case, or in case I digress, the intention is to help clarify the main topic. So God, Christians claim God, their God is omnipresent. So if God is everywhere, is is there any place where he cannot be? So I rephrased the statement to a question, so you guys can think more deeply about what what the topic is today. Just think about it. If so, let's go inside the church, right? A Christian church. People say that, those who go to church say that the church, or the temple, is where you will find God, where God is. So does that mean outside the church or the temple there is less of God, or you cannot find God outside the church or the temple? Or is the church or the temple more place where people with similar beliefs can congregate and talk about and share about their faith? So let me share the origin of the topic this morning. It might sound like I have totally digressed from the topic, but it is not my intention at all. So when I was thinking about the topic today, I actually saw a scary movie, horror movie a few nights ago about a woman being possessed by a demon, right? It's one of more recent horror movies about demonic possession. I don't want to share the title because I don't want to seem like I'm promoting any movie, but just say it's more recent times, and it's about a woman who got possessed by a demon, and the Catholic priest, a very known exorcist, exorcising the demon, so the demon leaves the poor girl alone, and you know, devil go or the demon goes back to the pit, the hell where he came from. So I am not I personally am not easily scared by horror movies, especially when I reached the point in my life where I questioned everything, especially the existence of God and the nature of God, the nature of reality, and the purpose of spirituality and religion in our lives. So basically, I used to be scared of ghosts, demons, and devils. But when I became an atheist, I just suddenly just stopped being scared of entities and such beings. It's not to say I don't believe that there are other, you know, dimensional beings out there, because we don't really know for sure. But I I really cannot find it in myself to believe that demonic possession and diabolical presence is real on any level. Okay, so even the ones that look like they have the the most credible signs of real demonic or diabolical possession is I think I have to really be there and see for myself. Okay, so I that was my first, perhaps digression from the topic. So I shared that because that is the origin of my topic this morning. Why I wanted to talk about God's the claim that God is omnipresent, but then the devil is also somewhere. Right? So if God's an infinite power, right? That's just beyond any of our imagination. Like if you're a Marvel fan, imagine imagine like all the superheroes' powers combined and multiply them a billion times more. Or if Thanos were a good guy, imagine Thanos times his power into infinity, right? That's what God is, right? Omnipotent, all powerful. So he is everywhere. That power is everywhere. So how can the devil that the Christians teach exist anywhere where in a universe or in a reality that the devil's enemy God is also everywhere. So the Bible in Psalm 139 verse 7 and to 10 is one of the key verses that say there is no place that we can hide from God's presence. If we go to the heavens, we are there. God is there. If we make our beds in the depths, God is there. So the argument there, God is logically in every space, and there is no place where evil is supposed to be able to operate independently of God. So now I also call on the claim that of God's sovereignty, God's omnipotence. That he, in Isaiah 45 verse 7, it says that I form the light and I create the darkness. I bring prosperity and create disaster. I, the Lord, do all these things. So that means there is nothing that even the devil can do outside of God's sovereign control and the devil being able to work independently. But we already know in the story of Job that for some reason the devil is just able to go in and out of heaven and talk to God, and as if he was almost a welcome visitor there. But now I'm really digressing, but hopefully you see the point I'm trying to make, that it makes very little sense to say that, for example, in the context of demonic possession, right? So if God is everywhere, then that means God is everywhere in me as well, right? There really is no other way to explain the word everywhere. Because if the devil can possess me, can take control of my body, then how did the devil do that if God is also everywhere inside me? So mainstream Christians might argue that the reason why the devil exists is because the devil is part of God's divine plan to promote the concept of free will and to test humans, which will basically be topic for another time. So God is everywhere, and the places where I'm just trying to understand this, guys, because I really cannot. That's why this video. He allows the devil to exist, even though he's everywhere. So if the devil represents the darkness and God is the light, if God is everywhere, then how can the darkness be anywhere? Again, if God is the light, and the devil is the darkness, and God is everywhere, how can there be darkness? So this claim of God's omnipresence can be used as an argument against the Christian hell. There can be no hell. As a matter of fact, If God is everywhere, then heaven is basically also everywhere. Even in this world, right, can be considered already heaven. Okay? In First Peter 5, verse 8, it says, "Be alert and sober of mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour." So, the Bible clearly states that the devil is operating in our midst. Right? Again, undermining the claim of God's omnipresence. So at this point, those who are probably getting edgy already about the video, and I do not blame you if you feel like you're aggravated, or you might want to say something that is maybe going to help me further deepen my own understanding. I'm not saying that evil does not exist, because the human condition of suffering, even from a Buddhist standpoint, where we can choose to be selfish or greedy, or we can choose to be compassionate and kind, right? The moral choices do not or cannot undermine God's omnipresence, right? That evil in the context of moral psychology, moral theology, does not disprove God's omnipresence. Like, God can be within me right now, and if I were not an atheist, I would believe from the core of my being that God is everywhere, in every atom of my being. But that does not say that I will not be able to make choices that do not reflect the God inside me. The point of my video is the existence of a physical, diabolical being called the devil or Satan, that is prowling around somewhere. Maybe some of you are saying this video right now that I am making is influenced by the devil, and I am being possessed by the devil to be blubbering and muttering things that have no biblical basis or foundation, because I consider myself an atheist and a Buddhist. But even if I were to be a Christian, if I were to consider myself a follower of Christ, I would still really question how an infinite being that is everywhere, that transcends all things and has power over everything, and then you have this Satan dude like roaming around, tempting people to make them do bad things. So, or is the devil just a convenient excuse after all to blame, have a scapegoat when we do bad? So that could be my topic for the next talk. But this is where I want to end my video today. It's is for us to think very, very deeply and reflect on as much as we can from the from the realm of reason, from the realm of logic, from the realm of just plain and simple common sense. How a physical, uh, how the devil as an entity, whether it's spiritual or because obviously, if the if we were to like really be technical about it, if there was the devil, if the devil existed, he would have the power to show up in a physical form as well, right? So if Satan were to actually physically appear right in front of me while I'm making this video, that that really undermines God's omnipresence, right? It's just like saying, with a beautiful sunlight out there, suddenly darkness just comes in here, like, and the darkness is so strong that the sunlight cannot overcome. I sorry if it's a bad metaphor, but that's not my intention to give a bad metaphor. But really, if the devil, the Satan, were to appear right in front of me, right here, right now, that means God is not here too, right? Because if God were here too, if God's presence were here too, then the devil cannot physically be here. Hell cannot exist if God is everywhere, because God would be in hell too. And assuming there is hell and God is in hell, then maybe for another topic I can talk about why I believe that if there was a hell and you got to hell, there was actually a way out of it because God is also there, right? Okay, so now I digress much more. So yeah, what are your thoughts about this topic? Do you really believe that God is everywhere, or or maybe in most places but not everywhere? What are your thoughts, my friends? Thank you for listening in this far, for liking and sharing. I'll see you again on my next video. Take care. Have a peaceful Sunday. Raffy Gutierrez signing out.